What's going on, everybody? Today I want to do something different. It's been a while since I've just talked about a specific episode of a show. Usually I just talk about the whole season and I don't focus on episodes. But in the case of the Book of Boba Fett, we're on episode 5 now. And except for this episode, I haven't really found myself too invested in the show. There have been some episodes that are enjoyable. There hasn't really been an episode where I was just like, oh, well, that's just trash or whatever. Like, I'm not looking at the show in that way at all. It's just that I don't know if I'll be reviewing the whole show because unless the last couple episodes are the best Star Wars that has ever existed, the Book of Boba Fett's fine. I love Tamora Morrison as Boba Fett. I love Ming-Na Wen as Fennec Shand. And the show looks amazing just as Mandalorian did, and Jon Favreau is a good writer, but the past and present storyline, the constant flashbacks, make it kind of difficult to care about what's going on, and some of the episodes don't really feel like they build to much, and so I don't know if I'll be reviewing the whole show. But I definitely want to talk about this episode. So if you haven't seen any of the Book of Boba Fett, or you were waiting for every episode to drop before watching, this is going to have full spoilers for episode number 5, Return of the Mandalorian. At the end of episode 4, Boba Fett suggests that he's going to need some help in the war against the Pikes, and you get a little bit of the Mandalorian theme, and so you're like, all right, well, he's probably going to go see Mando. That's what I thought anyway. I did not expect an entire episode of The Mandalorian season 2.5. That blew my mind. I had no idea that we would just get a Mando-centered episode in the middle of this season. It's kind of like how in The Mandalorian Season 2, Ahsoka Tano had a big episode centered around her, although it filtered in very easily to the Mandalorian story arc and that he was trying to return Grogu to the Jedi. In the case of episode 5 of the Book of Boba Fett, this is straight up a Mandalorian episode, and that's fine with me, because this episode kind of actually blew my mind. I'm very desensitized to Star Wars at this point. I've seen so much of it in the past 5 to 6 years, and it's gotten harder to wow me, so to speak, when it comes to Star Wars, but this episode did. Basically, everything they've done with The Mandalorian Season 1 and 2 and then this episode has really impressed me. I love this thing from start to finish, and for the entire episode, I kept thinking, who the fuck directed this? Because I do a thing with these shows. I try my damnedest to avoid any information about each episode. I don't even look up what the title is before I watch it, and I don't look up who directed it before I watch it so that I can just enjoy the episode and try to figure out, who may have done it, whether it was Robert Rodriguez or in the case of episode 2, Steph Green. When Bryce Dallas Howard's name came up over the end credits, I actually got goosebumps because she's done 2 episodes before. She did one in season 1 and season 2, and all 3 of her episodes have improved upon the last. This one being one of the best hours of Star Wars ever. Excuse me while I completely fanboy out over this shit, but everything from the introductory scene where we see Mando learning how to use the Darksaber, we understand the Darksaber is fighting against him. It's harder for him to wield it because he's not really in sync with it. He chops a dude in half, and it's like the first truly violent thing this show specifically has given us, which I was very happy to see, because I liked how the Mandalorian show was a little more violent than your average Star Wars. And this episode continues in that tradition. But then he meets up with some of his own people, and we recognize that things aren't exactly going well for him. Not only is he not really wielding the Darksaber properly, but one of his own kind challenges him to a duel because he believes he deserves it. And once they realize that Mando has taken off his helmet before, they banish him. And they even call him an apostate. Now, this is something that had a very specific reaction for me that not everyone else will experience, but that felt super close to home for me. There's also a lot of great imagery in this episode that tells a lot without having to be spoken. A lot of people have mentioned that the little bag Mando is carrying looks like Grogu, but really just the entire look of this episode is phenomenal. Bryce Dallas Howard is clearly very talented. Now, obviously her dad is also very talented, and her dad has even directed a Star Wars movie himself. She might have the jump on him. This shit is really well made. I don't know what it is about the Mandalorian character and Pedro Pascal as Din Djarin, but just the sequence of him unloading his weapons into a suitcase was more interesting than the first 4 episodes of Boba Fett. So he heads back to Tatooine, where he meets up with Amy Sedaris, and she reveals that she has a replacement for his Razor Crest ship, and it just so happens to be an N1 starfighter. That's right, the Naboo starfighter. One of my favorite Star Wars ships ever. I have always loved that ship. I forget if I ever mentioned this in a video, but when I was really little, and then right up until around when Phantom Menace came out, I always wanted a yellow car. I don't know why. I was obsessed with yellow cars. And so the Naboo starfighter spoke to me quite a bit. And we get to see him fix it up with her. And even though I wish they had left some of the yellow paint on it, the sequence where he flies this thing around Tatooine and even goes on one of the same routes that Anakin Skywalker took during the pod race tournament. Look, ships flying around in Star Wars is nothing new, but this was really beautiful. And it had a lot of Phantom Menace references that I enjoyed.
Well, how was it?
Wizard.
As far as the show, I was getting kind of sick of the flashbacks. I was getting kind of sick of Tatooine and the slow-moving plot in the present. The past sequences were far more interesting. I would say episode 2 was probably my favorite up until this one. This really rejuvenated the whole show for me, and it's unfortunate that Boba Fett isn't even in it. So I'm hoping the last 2 episodes can really help this show a bit. But I just wanted to talk about this episode, because if I don't end up reviewing the show, I wanted to talk about this one. It was so good, and maybe if you checked out on Boba Fett early on, just watch this one. It's awesome. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching, but I also want to give a big thank you to the sponsor for this video, NordVPN. I've used NordVPN for a while, and I've enjoyed the security that I feel when I'm browsing the internet, knowing that my personal information and data is safe. Using NordVPN allows you to never miss your favorite content, even when you're traveling abroad. You can change your virtual location with just one click, find streaming platforms at a lower price, and choose from over 5,200 servers in 60 countries. Thanks to Nord Links, there's amazing speed, no bandwidth throttling, you can stream securely and connect with just one click. The minds behind NordVPN have also created other great cybersecurity apps, like NordPass, a password manager. You can generate strong passwords and store them in a secure vault, or NordLocker, a secure cloud storage service. Keep your files encrypted and accessible from anywhere. And you can get a great discount if you buy these apps together with NordVPN. So check out nordvpn.com/Chris Stuckmann to get a 2-year plan plus 1 additional month at a huge discount. And it's entirely risk-free with their 30-day money-back guarantee. That link is in the description below. Please do check it out. Thank you guys so much, as always, for watching. Look forward to more videos very soon. And thank you so much to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. You guys are the best, and as always, if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.